Ever wondered what makes you you? It's a question that has fascinated philosophers, psychologists, and curious minds for centuries. Identity, that elusive sense of self, is not simply a label or a static state of being. It's a dynamic, multifaceted process that shapes and is shaped by our personal experiences, our psychological development, and our interactions with the social and cultural world around us. Consider this: you are not the same person you were 10 years ago, or even yesterday for that matter. We constantly evolve, learn, adapt, and grow. This ongoing process of self-discovery and self-definition is deeply influenced by our individual journeys and the world we inhabit. Now, let's add another layer to this exploration. Our journey of self-discovery is deeply intertwined with the Eastern philosophies of Dharma, karma, and samsara. Intriguing, isn't it? Let's delve into these concepts and see how they shape our identity. Dharma, a Sanskrit term, refers to duty or righteousness. It is a concept that permeates various aspects of our lives, including our psychological development. To understand this, let's delve into Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. Erikson proposed that our identity formation is a journey through distinct stages, each characterized by a unique crisis. These stages range from the infancy period, where we grapple with trust versus mistrust, to adolescence, where the crisis of identity versus role confusion comes into play. Successfully navigating these stages, according to Erikson, leads to the development of certain virtues. For instance, resolving the crisis of trust versus mistrust fosters hope, while navigating the identity versus role confusion stage instills fidelity. These virtues are integral to forming a stable and coherent identity. But how does Dharma tie into this? Well, if we consider Dharma as an inner duty, it becomes the moral compass guiding us through these stages. It's that internal voice encouraging us to face our crises head on, to learn, to grow, and to develop. It pushes us to align our actions, our karma, with personal growth. This alignment is not always easy. It requires introspection, self-awareness, and a willingness to engage with our internal and external conflicts. It often involves a struggle, a push and pull between what we desire and what we feel we ought to do. But it's through this struggle that we develop resilience, understanding, and ultimately a stronger sense of self. In essence, Dharma can be seen as our psychological duty to grow and develop, aligning our actions with personal growth. It's the driving force that propels us through the stages of psychosocial development, helping us navigate the crises and challenges that come our way. And it's through this journey, guided by our Dharma, that we form a well-rounded and stable identity. Karma, another Sanskrit term, represents the law of action and consequence. This principle directly impacts how we perceive and explore our sense of self, particularly through our social interactions. Let's delve into this. Every day we engage with a multitude of people and situations, each interaction leaving an imprint on our character. These experiences, these actions, are our karma. Now imagine each action as a pebble thrown into a pond. The initial splash is the action itself, but the ripples that spread outward, those are the consequences. And just as the ripples can alter the surface of the pond, the consequences of our actions can significantly affect our identity. Consider adolescence, a critical period in identity formation. During this time, we experiment with different roles and ideologies. We test the waters, pushing boundaries, exploring possibilities. Each choice we make, each role we try on, these actions are our karma. And the feedback we receive, the feelings we experience, the lessons we learn, these are the consequences that shape our identity. Our social interactions, our karma, can be influenced by various factors. Our family, our friends, our culture, our societal norms all play a part in guiding our actions. They set the stage where our karma unfolds, influencing the roles we try and the ideologies we adopt. But here's the catch. While these external factors can guide our actions, it is ultimately us who decide how to act. We are the ones throwing the pebbles into the pond. We are the architects of our karma, and by extension, we play an active role in shaping our identity. So what does this all mean? It means that our identity is not a static construct, but rather a dynamic entity, continuously shaped and reshaped by our actions and their consequences. It means that we have a say in who we become. In conclusion, our social interactions and the actions we take, our karma, leave an indelible mark on our identity. They shape who we are, how we perceive ourselves, and how others perceive us. Our actions and their consequences, our karma, play a significant role in shaping our identity. Samsara refers to the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It's a concept that encapsulates the idea of an ongoing process, a cycle that's constantly in motion, just like our identities. Cultural norms and societal expectations play a significant role in shaping our experiences and, in turn, our identities. Consider the culture you were born into. It's like a blueprint, providing a set of values, beliefs, and practices. These elements imprint upon us, embedding certain predispositions and expectations into our identity from a young age. We grow up observing and absorbing these norms, and as we mature, they become a part of our identity. But it's not a one-way street. As individuals, we also influence our culture and society. Our actions, decisions, and even our rebellions can shape societal norms. Each generation brings about changes, however subtle, to the cultural landscape. This continuous interplay between the individual and society is reminiscent of the cycle of samsara. Take fashion, for instance. Society dictates what's considered fashionable. Yet it's the individuals who dare to challenge these norms who often set new trends, reshaping societal expectations. This constant shift and change are akin to the ceaseless cycle of samsara. Or let's think about societal expectation around careers. There are fields traditionally deemed respectable and lucrative. However, as individuals navigate their unique paths, pushing boundaries and pursuing passions, society's perceptions change. Today we see a greater respect for and acceptance of a diverse range of careers. Again, this mirrors the concept of samsara, where the old gives way to the new, only to cycle back again. So in essence, our identities are shaped by this samsaric cycle. We are shaped by our culture and society, yet we also have the power to influence and reshape these societal norms. It's a continuous, dynamic process, reflecting the cyclical nature of samsara. Just like samsara, our identity is continually evolving, influenced by our experiences and societal factors. We are both the sculptor and the sculpture, continuously shaping and being shaped in this endless cycle of identity formation. A well-formed identity requires the integration of personal experiences, psychological growth, and social cultural influences. But how does this integration occur? Let's delve deeper. Introspection is the first step. It involves looking inward. examining our thoughts, emotions, desires, and values. It's about understanding our personal experiences and how they've shaped our identity. It's about acknowledging our psychological growth, the trials and triumphs that have made us who we are. Next is self-acceptance, embracing all facets of our identity. It's not just about accepting our strengths and achievements, but also our flaws and failures. It's about recognizing our uniqueness, our individuality, and celebrating it. It's about accepting that we are a product of our experiences, psychological development, and social cultural influences, and that's perfectly okay. But introspection and self-acceptance are not enough. We also need to strike a balance between our personal desires and societal expectations, a balance between who we are and who we aspire to be, a balance that allows us to stay true to ourselves while still adapting to the world around us. Now let's connect this integration to the harmonization of dharma, karma, and samsara. Dharma, our inner duty, guides us through our psychological growth, pushing us to resolve our internal conflicts and develop virtues. Karma, the law of action and consequence, reminds us that our social interactions, our actions, shape our identity, influencing how we perceive ourselves and how others perceive us. And samsara, the cycle of life and rebirth, symbolizes the continuous shaping of our identity by our personal experiences and societal influences. So the integration of personal experiences, psychological growth, and social cultural influences is akin to harmonizing dharma, karma, and samsara. It's about understanding our duty to ourselves and society, dharma, accepting the consequences of our actions, karma, and embracing the continuous cycle of growth and change, samsara. A balanced identity is born from the harmonization of dharma, karma, and samsara. It's a journey of introspection, self-acceptance, and balance. A journey that we all embark on, a journey that shapes us, a journey that makes us who we are. However, the path to self-discovery is not always smooth. Life can throw curveballs in the form of trauma, social exclusion, or cultural dissonance. These disruptions can create significant obstacles in identity formation, leading to identity crises, confusion, and the inability to form a stable sense of self. It's like walking through a maze blindfolded, with each stumble and wrong turn adding to the confusion. Yet, in the grand scheme of life, these challenges can be seen from a different perspective. They can be viewed as karmic lessons, where every action, every experience has a consequence that we must face. These disruptions are not just obstacles, but opportunities. They offer us a chance to reflect, to learn, and to grow. They push us to question, to explore, and to discover new dimensions of our identity. So even in adversity, there are karmic lessons to be learned, leading us towards growth and self-discovery.